The greatest threat to the well-being of any creature comes from other creatures of the same species. The closer they crowd together, the greater the risk of disease. Disease which can be spread from human to human, from animal to animal, or through indirect carriers such as contaminated surfaces, feed or water, rodents, insects, or other creatures. Biosecurity, in other words, excluding disease organisms from the bird's environment, is the most effective form of protection, especially where birds are farmed using modern production techniques. The need for biosecurity has become more acute. Viruses causing chicken anemia or gumboro are extremely persistent in the environment. They also suppress the bird's immune systems, leaving them more vulnerable to other infections. Outbreaks of avian influenza have led to humans becoming infected and fears of a global pandemic. Modern biosecurity techniques are key to disease control. They provide a healthier environment for your livestock, they block the introduction of disease onto the farm, and prevent the spread of disease between houses and between successive flocks. HACCP, or Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point, is the systematic approach to achieve food safety from farm to fork. Originally developed to protect astronauts from infection, HACCP is now accepted and often legally enforced worldwide. The DuPont Biosecurity Program has been developed through many years of research and collaboration with leading poultry companies. Based on products designed to work effectively under farm conditions, the DuPont program enables the farmer to follow HACCP principles and reduce disease challenge and losses in productivity. Hazard analysis is the first of the 7 HACCP principles. This involves identifying the potential hazards at each step of the production process, whether physical, chemical, or microbiological. The second step is to identify critical control points. In other words, the points at which these potential hazards can be controlled or eliminated. These critical control points can be at any stage in the production process, from hatchery to farm to processor to retailer to consumer. For the poultry farm, tackle these critical control points with terminal disinfection, carried out at the end of each production cycle. Couple this with the DuPont Continuous Biosecurity Program, which covers site security, personnel hygiene, the water system, airborne infection, insect and rodent control. Set critical limits. These limits are to make sure that whenever you take action at a critical control point, this action effectively controls or eliminates the hazard. For example, on the farm this will mean disinfecting surfaces such as floors, walls, posts and vents, so that any remaining disease organisms are below a certain level, measured as a total viable count. It would also mean that no trace of Salmonella could be found. These critical limits are set out in the DuPont Biosecurity Program literature. The biosecurity program then needs to be monitored. This means checking that the cleaning and disinfection routines are thorough. Checking that visitors disinfect their vehicles. Checking that personnel use disinfectant foot dips and clean, site-specific overalls. Checking that rodent bait is replenished, and so on. Where you find procedures have not been followed, or where tests show an unsatisfactory level of contamination after cleaning, act to correct the problem. Make sure the DuPont Biosecurity Program is followed exactly and the correct dilutions are being applied. Keep records so that you can prove the biosecurity program is in place and is implemented correctly and continuously. Record the products you use, the cleaning schedules you follow, the critical limits you achieve, the corrective actions you take. These records will be important in any legal action and as part of any quality scheme required by your customers. Finally, verification. This is a procedure for making sure the HACCP system is working properly. Very often an outside organisation will provide this service, looking at bacteriology tests, calibration tests and dosing checks. we can provide advice and training on audit routines and quality systems, such as the DuPont Biosecurity Accreditation System. The DuPont Biosecurity programs are consistent with HACCP principles. They give you a strategy to reduce the level of disease organisms on your site and to prevent their introduction from other farms. Each of the DuPont products in these programs has been designed for farm use and has been tested for effectiveness and efficacy against the main pathogens that threaten the poultry industry.